Hi guys, welcome back to Vintology by Lola. It is now time for the long-awaited Reynolds Kitchen plastic coated freezer wrap video. For all of you that have commented, for all of you that have gone back and looked at my 3-year-old video, I am now today going to show you exactly what I did. The only difference is different napkins, different pattern. Otherwise, the same process, okay? So what do you need? You need Reynolds Kitchen freezer paper. Make sure that it's plastic coated. A couple of people commented that they thought that it was wax coated. It's not. It's plastic coated. If it weren't plastic coated, it would not adhere to the napkin. So make sure it says plastic coated, okay? So I'm going to put that away. The other thing that you need is just some plain kitchen parchment paper. Any parchment paper will do. And I mean, it can be cheap from the Dollar Tree, get it from your kitchen, whatever. And what I do is I just keep reusing it and reusing it and reusing it until it's so dead that you can't use it. So you need like one piece, right? So I keep that. I have a wool mat that I use. You can use an ironing board, however you want to do it. I just find this works much better to do it on a smaller surface because I'm not working with like clothes and stuff, okay? So there's that. Then you need a napkin. It can be any size, any style. It just has to be a napkin, okay? Then you need some sort of pattern, okay? So here it is. I did a little prototype, which I'll show you in a second. You need some sort of Mod Podge. You need a paintbrush to put it on. You need a scissors, and you need tape. Unless you are an expert at getting the napkin off, the tape trick is the best. Somebody told me about it. I love it. It works great. Okay, so here is what it will look like after we fold the napkin, after it's got the freezer paper on it, okay? So this I did a Valentine's one. Surprise, surprise. So here it is. Feel it? That's how it is. Crunchy and all beautiful like that. So all I did was cut it out, and you guys, I don't measure, so when you see it, don't freak out. I don't measure, I just fold it and do it. So when you're done with it, all you need to do then is you're going to take it and glue it, right? And then I'm going to glue it here, okay? Just like that. And then I usually go back and see if there's anything that needs to be glued in place, just like that, okay? And now you can put a closure on it, or you can just put a paper clip on it, whatever you want to do. And it is ready to send happy mail in, or to put into a journal, a junk journal, a scrapbook, whatever. So you can choose your napkin so that it matches whatever your theme is, okay? So there's that one. Let me get this out of the way. I'm going to try to keep it, so I'm going to try to keep moving along here, people, so that it doesn't take a whole lot of time. Okay, there we go. Okay, there. That's the policy envelope. But you could do cards. You could use I suppose you could use glassine paper. I was actually going to try glassine paper. I just didn't get a chance to try that yet. I know you can use tissue paper. So if you find beautiful tissue paper that you want to save or preserve or put in a scrapbook, this is a great technique for that. Here is the pattern that I chose this time. I did get a lot of comments from people. Let me just touch on this briefly. I have never paid more than 50 cents for a pattern. Even the vintage patterns. I have gotten them from thrift stores. I've gotten them from friends. I've gotten from garage sales. And almost all of them have something wrong with the cover. I am not a person who sews with clothes. I know they're worth some money, but to me, it's worth more to put them in my journal. And if that's not you, don't do it. But that's me, and that's how I'm doing it, okay? But here I did an old Aunt Martha's transfer pattern, and all I did was cut it, and I'm going to show you how. And then I took the inside of the pattern, and I decopaged it on here, did a little distressing, and then I did 2 little pockets. Right? How cute is that? Right? I love it. So let me show you. So you can just go, put your little thing in there like that. Your little thing in there. Close it up. Again, it would be really cute with some seam binding, some ribbon. Darling. Okay, so let's get started. First thing you're going to do is you're going to decide on your napkin. And if it has 3 plies, you're going to take all 3 plies and separate them. So you're going to take the first one off, right? And that one comes off super easy as usual. And this one always takes a little bit more. I almost always rip it. Yep. Okay. So there we go. There is that. Part of the reason I don't do tutorials, you guys, is because I don't have a lot of space. At least when I was at school teaching, I had a huge table, which was just heavenly. This, I don't have quite so much. So you do not have to do this. This isn't necessary, this next step, but I love to just kind of quick take an iron, a hot iron, no steam, and I just give my napkin a little bit of a press. Oops, but you don't want that to happen, right? Okay, so there it is. There is my nice pressed napkin, okay? Now, you need it to be at least this size, which this is just a travel size napkin, actually. Or not it's a tissue. It's not even a napkin. It's a snot rag, right? So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of the freezer paper, and you will see that there is a very smooth, shiny side, and there is a matte side. You want to put the shiny side, look, it just kind of adheres, huh? You're going to put the shiny side up to the back of the napkin. So if I do this, you should see the shiny side and you should see your napkin. Now this is where the parchment comes in. You don't want this plastic on your iron. So I'm just going to take a piece of parchment and I'm just going to put it over it, right? And I usually move mine around, so, because it always rolls, right? So I'm just going to do this, and I just start here, and I'm going to do it up here. Do that. Okay, and I'm going to move it down a little bit. And I really try to get the corners and the edges. Okay, so if it looks like I haven't gotten it enough, go over it again. Okay. Simple, 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 right? Okay, so now I'm going to take this parchment off and I'm just going to look at it. Now, the next thing I do is I will trim off all of these pieces, and I can already see I have some there that I didn't iron down enough. And I cut it, here, let me put it in the camera view. I do it flush to the napkin, right? And if you do it flush to the napkin, then you have a square, right? So you don't have to worry. That's what I was talking about for the measuring. Okay, so I'm gonna cut all of this off. Oh, didn't get that one at all. No, I'll be careful and I'll show you. That's not a problem to fix. It's only because the camera's on. If the camera weren't on, it would be perfect. But such is life, right? Okay. All right, there's that. And we'll do this last one. Now that I've trimmed up almost all of the sides, I just have this one left. I don't have any of that plastic that's going to get on my iron or is going to get on my mat, right? So what I do is I usually flip it over. So I'm on the white mat side, and this is the time I'm going to make sure, this is the time I'm going to make sure that it is completely adhered, okay? Gonna keep doing that. And you just go over that. If I didn't say it or I did say it, I don't remember. No steam, okay? No steam. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm gonna flip it over, and it looks pretty good. It's got a little bit of a wrinkle, but I want people to know that I made it. I am not someone who believes it has to be perfect. It's a little crooked over here, but that's fine. It's not gonna show. So that's all you do to make it. Now you can choose if you want. You could stamp on this side because it's matte. And you could put it in a book just like this. Fold it, and you'd have it stamped. You could just leave it white. You could put a piece of scrapbook paper on the back, whatever. But now I'm going to show you how I make my policy envelopes, okay? So what I do is I just kind of roll it like this. Just so it's kind of even, right? And I usually do the side that looks better, and neither one of them look terrific, but okay, so then I do that, and then I just crease it. Okay, crease it like that. Okay, simple, simple, simple. And if I could find a bone folder, I could probably even use a bone folder. Okay, here's a bone folder, yay. Okay, just like that. Then what I do is I fold this piece up, and I'm sorry for those of you, skip past this if you already know how to make a policy envelope, but I wanted to make sure that everything I did in that video, the second part of the video, which is the little pockets that are decoupaged, I'll be doing that in another video, okay? And I kind of like this to be a little bit longer, okay? And I'm going to open this up, okay? And then I just go like this. And then I cut this out. And then I do the same thing on the other side. Cut this out. Okay, and then the same thing up here. Okay, there's that. There's that. Okay. Now, I just take my glue again. Decide which one looks a little better. This is where you would ink. If you want to go around and you want to distress it and you just want to ink it, you'd ink it all now, okay? I'm not going to because I like the white on it. And I'm just going to do the same thing I did with the other one, which was glue it, right? Come in, do this one. It's sticking out a little bit, right? And then I just do that, put it up. Again, missed a little bit. There's more glue, no big deal. And it's nice because you're just, everything sticks to the napkin, which makes it really, really nice. Okay, there you go. And you put, and I did it the wrong way, you guys. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, that's the way it rolls. I can live with that, right? So this was supposed to be the top and this was supposed to be the bottom. I can live with that, and I'm sure, and you can see I need a little more glue in there. Put it too close to the edge. Sometimes it's easier to do it on the other side. I didn't do it that way. Okay. Okay, so do be careful though, because you can see where I put glue and then I started rubbing it, it will take the napkin off because it's just a little bit of plastic that it's adhering to. It's still paper, it's still a napkin, right? So this will be my policy envelope. Okay, so that's ready to go. All right, we'll put that to the side now. Now we're gonna move into our second project, which is the Aunt Martha, okay? So first thing I do is I take out all of the guts from here, all right? And you save all this because it's so much fun to use this inside, okay? So all I'm going to do, again, I eyeball it, you guys. So I cut the bottom. And you can see I am not somebody who cuts straight. The only time it's straight is when I use a cutter. So, but this is supposed to be a hand-done project, right? And I do that. Okay. And this is fun to keep too if you want to use that inside to decoupage or something with it. That's really cute too, because it is all yummy, yummy vintage. Okay, so I'll save that and put this aside. So it is basically the same process. Okay, so I will get a piece of freezer wrap, right? And same exact thing. Shiny side up, pattern side down. Okay, so just like that. Parchment paper over the top. Move all this other stuff. Sorry, you guys. See, when you have a small space, you always got to be paying attention to where stuff is. Yuck, I hate that. Okay, sorry, little commentary there. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to iron it. And we're going to keep ironing it. And we'll pay a little bit more attention to the corners this time, right? Since I didn't do that last time. Okay. And if anyone wants to know, I do have this little mini iron on max. I don't know if it would work different with a regular size iron because I don't use one. I only use this mini one, and it works really well on max. So you may have to play around to see what temperature. It does need to be good and hot because look, see, I still don't have it adhered there. So you need it to be hot, hot, hot for the plastic to stick to the back of the pattern. Okay. Oh. Check this corner. Yep, see, need a little bit more. That one looks good. That one's good. Let's see, that one's good. Okay, let's see how that one is now. Okay, good. This one doesn't want to stay very well. I'll just keep on doing that. All right, perfect. Remove the parchment paper, and we're going to do the same thing we did prior, okay? Which is cut it so that it's flush with the pattern. Now the pattern, though, I do something a little bit different with, and I'm going to show you as soon as I'm done cutting all this paper off. And some of you may say, well, why don't you put it in your paper cutter? Personally, I just find it easier to just do it by hand like this. When I'm going to even it up, I will. But for now, I won't. Does that make sense? When I want to even it up, you'll see me even it up on my cutting mat. Okay. I mean, not on my cutting mat, sorry. On my cutting board. Sorry, you guys. You know, like you get into the zone and you're like, oh, I have to talk to people? Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that. Let's get rid of all this. Move that aside. We don't need your mat anymore. Unless, again, you can see I need to do a little bit more here. So I'm going to do that here. Okay. Okay, so now what I do is I fold it in half, following pretty much where the pattern was already creased, okay? And I take out my cutting board, and this is where I even it up, because you can see the white here, and it's pretty even there, but I just want to go through it just to even it out, because it is, if it's something I'm going to send for Happy Mail, I want it to look nice. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I do want it to look nice, right? Okay, so there's that. Just a little bit. You're not taking off a lot, you're just evening it out. Okay, well, there's that. Okay, so now that is all even Steven, right? So let's put this away. We're done with this. Okay, so now you can either leave it like this, and you could leave it like this too if you wanted. You wouldn't necessarily have to do anything to it if you were going to put it in a book. And you may put it in, and then you may put pockets in it. I find it easier to do it now versus putting it in the book and stitching it. So you have that option. I also use a corner rounder. But before we do any of that, we are going to take some of the guts of the inside of the pattern, and you don't necessarily, you can do decoupage, you don't have to use this. I like to use this. I think it's really cool, right? So I'm just going to take and tear some stuff off that I think I want to use. All right, it's got cowboys, it's got a whole bunch of like rodeo stuff. All right, so I take off, I think that might be enough. Okay, put a little more off, okay? So I am, let's see, where's my, I'm looking for something that I can't find, and that is, oh, here it is. Okay, so now I put this underneath, which is my placemat, which for when you do decoupage works fabulous from the Dollar Tree. Just put it down. Okay, so now we're going to decoupage the inside so that you can see how I did it, right? Again, this is totally optional. You don't have to do any of this if you want. This is how I do it. So I'm just going to put a bunch of glue on it, and I want Mr. Cowboys. So I think I'm pretty much going to put probably both of those cowboys on there. Okay, and that's how I'm going to do it. We're just going to do that. And then I'm just going to put that on there like that. Okay. And what do I have on this side? I think I have, oh, see, I have another cowboy. So I don't want this. I'll tear that off. And I'm just going to do this. Press it down. Just like that, right? So then we're going to put him over here. Okay. I don't use a lot when I decoupage, you guys. I don't use a lot of glue. I just make sure it's covered, but I don't put gobs and gobs of glue. Okay. Okay. So that's probably pretty good. And then we're gonna just put him. Let's take this a little bit off here. And now I'm going to put him right down there, right? Just like that. Okay, so now here's where I'm going to go in. And I'm going to make sure that all of this underneath is all glued, right? Because where it's overlapping, it's going to need a little extra glue. Okay, right? All right, I'm gonna move that glue for a second because I'll use it later. I'll show you where. So now I'm gonna flip the pattern over and I just follow where the straight edge is. And I'm just gonna cut off all of that. Okay, so that's all garbage. Now what I do, I have a little piece that's, and I don't care that much about that because I'm putting a pocket down and I'm also going to round the corners. So now what I do, I don't know if you're supposed to do this or not, but this is how I do it. Now I take my iron over it and I iron over the decoupage. Okay. And it just makes everything all nice and smooth, right? Okay, because this is brown, I will distress it with my ink, but before I do that, I am going to round my corners. And like I said, there's a little bit of white showing, but if you're going to be doing pockets, they won't show anyway. So then I'm just gonna go around here. Okay. All right. I also like to do it on the outside. You do you. If that doesn't work for you, don't do it. Also, it would be kind of pretty if I had that color to go around, but I just traditionally, if it's old, I just always use vintage photo. I've been using it for so many years. Okay, we're done with that part. So now what comes next? going to fold it in half, okay? And you're going to decide what you're going to do for your pockets. Well, for me, I love that this is on here and it says cowboys and Indians in these designs would especially make a children's room, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to make that one of my pockets, okay? Just because it's a little bit different, okay? And I'm just going to use my little tiny one because I don't want a big, huge half circle. I just want a little one, okay? Just like that. And see, if I put it down there, I might have to just clip that corner like that and like that. And then I'm going to put it on there. And all I'm going to do is just use the same decoupage that I used before. And I'm just going to go around the outside. Oop, make sure I'm in camera. Sorry about that, people. And I'm just doing a little bit. Hardly need anything, really. Put it down at the bottom. Okay, so there's my first pocket. And this pocket is going to be writing, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to fold it in half because this paper is kind of brittle, okay? And I'm going to use some more. This you need a little bit just to make sure that your pocket stays together, right? And you can use art glitter glue too, or whatever, but I have the decoupage out, so why wouldn't I just use that, right? And then I do that, okay? That's all nicey nice. And then I figure out how long I want my pocket, okay? And I'm thinking, so here's the fold, something like that. Fold it. So I know that that's where my fold will be, right? And I certainly don't need that much for the edge. Okay, just like that. And then this one, wrap it around. See, I make it as simple as possible, people. And I'm just going to do this. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to ink around it a little bit. Okay, and this is fragile paper, so you do want to be careful, right? If anyone's worked with fragile paper, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. There's my little hole again. And then I'm just going to take this, and I'm going to do this. Knock that off, because I don't want it to stick. And then I just do a little bit down here. And then I just take my scissors and just go around like that. And there you have it. You have your Happy Mail. Isn't that just so cute, you guys? And super easy. So when I said it was easy, you guys, and that it could be life-changing, because just about any kind of paper you could do this with, right? But this is a great way if they're just, patterns are just sitting in drawers, or I have some patterns where I just have the outside. I don't even have the guts. So this is a great way to put it in. And if you were doing a cowboy and Indian or Native American journal, wouldn't that be cute in there? That would be so cute. Or even a kid's one. Really? So cute. So here's this one. And this one kind of curled up on me a little bit. Oh, and that was the other thing I was going to tell you. This one, I did do a little bit of distressing in it because it was a little bit whiter. This one's pretty ecru, so I don't feel like I need to. So I like that. So there's those two. And then we have our 2 policy envelopes. So if you have any other questions, feel free to send me a note. You know, I'd be more than happy to help you. I am telling you though, guys, you have to just try it. Sometimes you just have to jump in. That's what I used to tell my students. You know what? It's just paper. It's not like we're working with, you know, $50 items. We're only using paper. try it and play with it. And especially if you've got everything on hand, why not? Give it a try, okay? So again, many thanks for stopping by. Many thanks for watching the video. And I will talk to you all soon. Peace out.